Rocky Jones. Space Ranger. Space Ranger. Space Ranger. Starring Richard Crane. In The Trial of Rocky Jones, Chapter 1.
So that's Angkor. What do we find there, Rocky, except fuel for our next hop toward Earth?
Just about anything. There's a saying that if you can't find it on Angkor, it doesn't exist.
And the fashions, Biff. Exquisite creations. Or they're even copied on Venus.
The city never seems to go to sleep. Maybe that's because it's underground. You don't know if it's day or night.
That sounds like a good place for moles.
Worse than that, it's a haven for criminals from other moons and planets. Lavoga, the ruler, refuses to sign treaties or alliances that would make extradition possible. So these criminals have complete freedom, just as long as they obey the laws of Angkor.
Rudy DeMarco, you were magnificent in the sports arena last night. You're a great athlete.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Will you join me?
Some other time. We're on our way to see Lavoga.
Oh.
Dr. Reno, Rudy DeMarco, Peter Vartando's fine friends.
Oh, you will be sorry to hear this, but bad fortune is caught up with Peter Vartando. Maybe you got a little something for an old friend?
Get away from us.
Here's the clearance order for your spaceship, Griff.
Thank you, sir. I've done some excellent trading here on Angkor, Lavoga, but now I must leave.
I'm sorry to see you leave, Griff. What's your destination?
The moon Nagato. My cargo is extremely valuable, and I'll pay any price for an escort spaceship. I want to guard against any possible piracy.
I'm afraid that's out of the question, Griff. I'll guarantee you the safety of your cargo while it's on Angkor, and through our 1,000-mile limit into space. But beyond that, it's of no concern of mine. Dr. Reno, don't tell me that you and Rudy are also leaving Angkor.
I regret it, but we must soon.
Oh, yes, of course. Your athletic tour of the planets. Well, you must hurry back, Rudy. This morning, my small daughter, Jonica, was telling me of her undying love for you. She expects to marry you when she grows up.
I'm flattered, Lavoga.
You really impressed my people with your exhibitions of strength and skill. Do you suppose there's a man anywhere who can match Rudy in any encounter?
We haven't found him yet.
Spaceship Silver Moon, licensed as the XV-3, calling Angkor.
Pardon me one moment. This is Lavoga, Potenton of Angkor. Come in, XV-3.
Rocky Jones, sir. Requesting permission to land for refueling and minor repairs.
Granted. Set controls for free flight. I'll bring you into the subterranean spaceship dock.
Thank you, Lavoga.
Then bring your crew to headquarters for briefing of laws and conduct of Angkor. Out.
Does this change our plans? Do we leave sooner than we intended?
Why? We have no reason to fear the Space Rangers. Rocky Jones can't force Lavoga to change the laws of Angkor.
Rudy DeMarco. Dr. Reno.
Yes?
Strange that you should say that Rudy had never met his match, and then Rocky Jones arrives. Isn't it true that you'd be sitting on the throne of Herculon if it hadn't been for the interference of this Space Ranger? And what are you now? A powerful freak. A man who lives like an animal at the end of a leash, entertaining crowds by displaying his strength and skill in combat. I, too, have met defeat at the hands of Rocky Jones. But here at last is our chance to even old scores with him. and to be rid of this Space Ranger forever. We don't dare leave here now, because we know he might be waiting for us outside the 1,000-mile limit to arrest us.
And take us back to the United World's prison.
Gentlemen, if you value your freedom as much as I do, the finish of Rocky Jones must be written here on Angkor.
Welcome to Angkor.
Thank you, Lavoga.
Whether it's pleasure or profit you're looking for, you'll find both. I ask only that you live according to my laws during your visit.
Certainly, Lavoga.
Oh, don't worry about that, sir. Obeying the law is number one in Rocky's book.
A man receives my praise or my punishment only because of what he does here on Angkor. I can be loud in my praise and severe in my punishment. I hope you understand.
Oh, sure. Sure, I guess so.
Please enjoy yourselves during your visit. Oh, may I recommend the Cafe Angkor? The food there is excellent.
Thank you, Lavoga.
Hey, this looks like really great food.
Delicious, just sensational. It's cosmic colossal.
I'm amazed at all these delicacies.
And what about you, Rocky?
Well, the food may be good, but look.
I'm beginning to see what you mean, Rocky.
So men like that can commit all the crimes they want someplace else and then be welcome here.
Rocky, look!
Who is it, Rocky?
A man named Griff. The only trader who was ever in the Space Ranger's service. There's very little to choose between him, Rudy, and Dr. Reno.
Gosh, Rocky, who can we expect to find here next?
Hey, mister, how you like to be friends of Peter Bertando? He's one fine fella. He'll choose you.
Pinto!
You got something for poor Pinto Bertando? Yes?
Excuse me.
Maybe.
For the last time, you beggar, get away from here.
Oh, Pinto. Who is it who calls Pinto Bertando?
Over here, Pinto.
Vena, so beautiful. And Pinto Bertando's fine friend, Rocky Jones. Hello, the crew of the spaceship Silver Moon.
It's real good to see you, Pinto.
Look, I gave you my last warning.
It's all right. He's a friend of ours. Grab a chair, Pinto. Sit down.
Once Pinto saved the little fella's life, huh? It was on account of those rascals over there. Funny place, Rocky. You cannot say nothing about nobody.
Rudy DeMarco, this is my daughter, Jonica.
It's about time we met. I understand we're going to be married someday.
Father.
Won't you join us?
Thank you.
Oh, Pinto. I've carried this for some time, hoping we'd meet. It's to you from Secretary Drake for the service you gave the United Worlds.
A medal of honor for Pinto Bertando. Mr. Secretary likes Pinto, huh?
Oh, yes.
Pinto keeps this always, no matter how poor he gets.
That beggar Pinto is important to us.
Maximum reading on fuel gauge, Biff. Cut the intake tubes.
Right, Rocky.
I'm going to City Cave to clear the Silver Moon out of port. You two better stay here until I come back.
I sure wish we could take something with us, Rocky.
You mean some of those exquisite gowns, Dina?
No. One thing named Griff. And a couple of things named Rudy and Reno. Right back to United World's prison.
We'll catch up with them someday, Vina.
Vito is full. Right up to here.
Good. Eat hearty, my friend.
You're a fine fellow, Rudy. Vito likes this Ankapor where bygones are bygones.
Rudy. Well, come on, Pinto. I'll really show you the sights of Ankapor.
Just the two of us, huh? There were two men, two jolly men.
Who went out to see the town, and they saw the town again.
There were two men, two jolly men.
Who went out to see the
The
town.
meeting should be near the entrance to City Cave. Take care of your part in the plan.
Completely bold. So, Vito took the one with girls. You try, Rudy. Come on, Rudy, you try. Rudy, why you hit your friend Pinto? Help! Somebody help! Help! Somebody help! Help! Somebody help Pinto! Pinto's in difficulty. He's outnumbered. Help!
Big hero stuff. Well, this will be the end of you.
Watch your friend Rudy take a beating.
Move. Back to the passageway. Come on, move.
I can't understand what happened. Rudy's always punctual. Volga, look.
This sort of behavior is not tolerated on Ankapor. I demand an explanation.
You'll have it, Lavoga.
Pinto. Oh, Pinto!
What happened, Rudy?
Volga, I must ask you to arrest this man for assault, attempted murder, and robbery.
Lavoga, Rudy DeMarco's charge that I assaulted him is an absolute lie.
And yet you admit striking the first blow.
Yes, but only because Pino Vertando called for help. Because of the beating Rudy was giving him.
I'd like to see this man, Vertando, and then face Rocky Jones with Vertando's version of it.
Find Pinto Vertando and bring him here for questioning. And since you base your entire defense on this one man's testimony, it is my order that you be imprisoned until he is found. My apologies for this most unfortunate incident.
Any sign of him? Vina, maybe I better go by the city cave and have a look around.
Rocky told us to stay here until he got back.
Why has he gone so long?
Or maybe he stopped by the cafe to pack a lunch for us.
The XV-3?
Yes, sir.
Any crew members missing?
Only Rocky Jones, and he's not a crew member. He's the commander.
I have an order from the Volga. You will board your spaceship and remain there until further orders. Any attempt to escape will be considered a crime against Ankapor. A guard will be posted to see that this order is carried out.
But we take our orders from our commander, Rocky Jones.
You'll take your orders from the Volga. Now climb aboard.
Can't you tell us what's happened?
You'll be told in due time. Be careful not to be seen.
Rocky Jones. Rocky.
Yes?
Be careful. Do you recognize this?
Of course. It's a Medal of Honor I give Pino Rotondo. How did you get it?
Pino said it would introduce me. Must listen carefully. Rudy and Dr. Reno have a plan to discredit you with La Volga. They tried to find Pino and silence him, so he came to me for help.
Where is Pino?
He's hiding in the work cave. I have my own reasons for working against Rudy. I'll take you to Pino before it's too late.
Rudy, Reno, and now you, Griff.
Yes, Rocky. Too bad we didn't meet sooner and join forces. Hold him, boys. Use the cargo hoist to get him aboard the spaceship. The shock of the blast-off will revive him. Set controls for O240. That'll give me time to be in La Volga's office.
All right, synchronize instruments for blast-off. Come on, I don't want to be a passenger.
My cargo is aboard the YC-47, La Volga. I've promised delivery of it to the Moon Nagato, so I must be on my way.
Hurry back, Griff.
You'll always be more than welcome.
Thank you, sir.
La Volga. As I was walking up the corridor, I looked in the prisoner's cell. He's escaped.
Rocky Jones escaped?
Impossible.
La Volga, Commander Zandorf of the YC-47. Is Griff there? Emergency.
Griff. Yes?
The YC-47, sir. It's blasting off. It's being stolen.
My cargo.
It's Rocky Jones. He blasted off with my cargo. That's piracy.
I'll get your cargo back, and the criminal. I guarantee it, Griff. This is La Volga. Have my pursuit ship ready for immediate blast-off. Come with me.
There's my ship, La Volga.
A few more minutes, Griff, and your worries will be over. caught up with him. Now we magnetize, board the ship, and take him prisoner. I told you I'd catch him. Keep him covered, Griff.
Of course, I want to see this business through to a finish, La Volga. But I have one request. As you know, I've pledged delivery of my cargo. With your permission, my commander and crew will blast off and fulfill my contract for me.
Granted. This will clear spaceship YC-47 from Anchor Point.
Thank you, sir. This will see you on your way. And don't forget the most important cargo.
Intervertando.
You're gonna tell the truth, Griff, right now.
Thank you, Rudy. Bring the prisoner in.
Lavota, you have to listen to me.
My tolerance is exhausted.
By your laws or anyone else's, a man has a right to speak in his own defense.
A last warning. One more outburst out of you, and you forfeit your right to speak. Seat the prisoner.
Over there.
My apologies, gentlemen. Where are the crew members of the XV-3?
Waiting, La Volga.
Bring them in.
Rocky.
What have you been up to, Rocky?
Yeah, what have you been doing?
You're in the High Court of Anchor Point. You'll be seated and remain silent.
High court? Rocky, what is this?
I said be seated.
I questioned the guards. Rocky Jones' crew made no attempt to leave their spaceship.
I don't know what I did, but I'm starting to feel guilty.
In my opinion, La Volga, the crew members are completely innocent.
I agree. Proceed.
The prisoner will step forward.
Well, I still don't know what I did, but here I go.
Biff, it isn't you, it's Rocky.
Huh?
We don't want crime on Anchor Point. Therefore, our punishment is more severe than any place else. Rocky Jones, you are charged with assault, attempted murder, and robbery. I also find the charge escape from the prison of Anchor Point. Next in your list of crimes is theft of a spaceship, an attempt to escape my jurisdiction, and finally, piracy of a valuable cargo.
But La Volga!
Silence.
But you must listen to me. Even if Rocky Jones were the type of guy to do those things, believe me, La Volga, he just didn't have the time.
Silence. I alone will judge the guilt or innocence of Rocky Jones. Remove the prisoner and hold him for trial.
with us next week, same time, same station, when we can take you into outer space for further adventures with Rocky Jones, Space Ranger. Rocky Jones, Space Ranger, Space Ranger, Space Ranger, starring Richard Crane. In The Trial of Rocky Jones, Chapter 2. When we last saw Rocky Jones, he was imprisoned on Ankapor, a moon where the people live underground. The ruler, La Volga, believes that Rocky is guilty of attempted murder and pirating a valuable cargo in a stolen spaceship.
You will make your visit as brief as possible.
Thank you, La Volga. Tough break, Rocky. We'll work it out.
Sure, Biff. Let's get on with the trial.
Look, I don't know anything about being a defense attorney, but I guess I'm the best we've got. With your permission, I'd like to handle the case.
Thanks, Biff. On one condition, if your fee isn't too stiff.
Well, what's our best chance of getting you free?
Pendleton Tondo could prove I didn't attempt to murder or rob Rudy DeMarco. But Dr. Reno and Griff will make sure that Pendle's far away from Ankapor during my trial.
We're dealing with some sharp cookies, Rocky. Well, Vina and Bobby send the best of everything.
Thanks for everything, Biff.
What crime am I charged with, Your Honor?
Oh, Father, I was just straightening up for you.
You run along now, Jonica. This is no place for a little girl. Greetings, my dear Jonica. So you're not a child anymore.
Father, please, may I stay?
Well, for a little while. Come, Jonica, sit with me, hmm?
Volga. The complainants concerned, Rudy and Griff, have asked that I handle the prosecution against Rocky Jones. With your permission.
Granted, Dr. Reno.
Take it.
Bring in the prisoner. Rocky Jones, are you represented by counsel?
Yes, La Volga. My crew member, Biffin Cardoza.
Counsel, please step forward.
Well, here we go for the skipper.
Counsel, are you familiar with the charges?
Completely, sir.
Very well, then proceed.
La Volga, I intend to prove that those three men, Griff, Rudy DeMarco, and Dr. Reno, have conceived a hoax whereby they intended to use you as a tool to murder Rocky Jones.
I object.
Sustained.
Very well. I now call Pinto Bertando to the stand. Pinto Bertando. I'm sorry, Livolga. It appears that Pinto Bertando has been unavoidably detained. I now call Vina Ray to the stand.
Vina Ray is not a witness in this case.
How do you know? How do you know that she didn't see Rudy DeMarco pick an unfair fight with Pinto Bertando just so Rocky Jones would come to his aid?
I object.
And how do you know she didn't see Griff steal the necessary keys so that the commander of his spaceship could very cleverly help Rocky escape from prison?
Livolga, I object.
And I ask you, Dr. Reno, how do you know that Vina Ray...
Livolga, I object.
Silence, silence.
How do you know that she didn't see Rocky Jones knocked out and carried into the spaceship he was supposed to have stolen?
Livolga, I object.
Counsel is instructed to adhere strictly to proven facts and the testimony of qualified witnesses.
As my first witness, I call Vina Ray.
I object.
Sustained.
But Livolga, may I call your attention to Section 43, Article 17, Paragraph 87 of the Penal Code of Ankapor?
Huh?
I quote, "Whensoever a crime on Ankapor involves parties from other worlds, counsel is privileged to call witnesses of past events if he feels he thusly helps his client's defense." Vina, please.
I object.
Objection overruled. Your witness may testify.
Vina, have you ever seen this man Griff before?
Oh, yes, many times. He used to be in the Space Ranger service.
Is there any reason why he would desire to be a party to the death of Rocky Jones?
Yes, there is a reason.
Please, Vina, direct your words to Livolga.
Livolga, I wish that someday you could see the Earth headquarters of space affairs. It's all very wonderful. It's the heart of a system which unites the planets, the planetoids, and the moons of the universe. It's from Earth headquarters that Space Rangers are dispatched in answer to calls for help, regardless of the dangers or distance. And except for Rocky Jones, the entire area would have been destroyed by this man, Griff.
Stay where you are. I'll go out alone.
Crew and passengers aboard, eh? Well, that's all right with me. Now, Rocky, switch on blast-off synchronizer.
Rocky.
Go ahead. Start climbing.
Take charge of the ship.
Hold it.
Stay right there. Griff will be here to take the ship off.
Don't turn around. Don't make one false move. Toss your weapon over the side. Take her off, Winky.
But Rocky.
Yeah, come on, quick, take her off. Go with the synchronizer. That's an order.
Rocky, stop him. Get us aboard. You don't know what you're doing.
What am I doing, Griff?
I've got the whole headquarters planted. Any minute now, any second, we're going up in smoke.
Then you better go pull some switches if you want to live. Now, don't try it. Come on. No space ranger's going to put anything over on me.
Unfortunately for all of us. Yes, even you, Lavolga. Griff was able to escape arrest and punishment.
Thank you, Vina. That'll be all.
I must thank the defense counsel for directing my attention to this article in the Angkor Penal Code. I will call Griff to the stand. And what he will testify, Lavolga, has only to do with the charges against Rocky Jones. My witness will speak explicitly on the charges against this criminal. You will address your words, Lavolga.
Lavolga, there is a planetoid named Pra. It's very much like Angkor. Spaceships with rich cargoes constantly move in and out of its ports. Unfortunately, Pra, too, is plagued with piracy. I had two business associates on Pra, Rinkman and Dr. Vanko. We had lost rich cargoes. It was incredible. Rinkman told me the story of what happened to them on Pra.
We didn't have a signal for a landing. Who could possibly land on Pra?
Marco! Marco!
Markov here.
Who's making a landing?
Nothing's coming into the landing platforms.
Are you blind?
Let's have a look, Doc.
Keep the visiograph on, Winky. You'll have to cover me. If they start anything, blast them.
I'll keep my trigger finger ready.
You'll be able to see me materialize out of the ship's invisibility blanket.
Boy, they're going to be even more surprised than they are now. But remember, we don't know how long the coal light will last.
Right.
spaceship has landed here.
It must have landed. We heard the rockets.
Maybe we're all blind. What do you think, Doc? You heard it.
I don't know. I don't know. It's fantastic.
We're being paid to know about these things, Vanko. Did a spaceship land or didn't it?
This thing is all beyond me. I have to admit it.
You're going to have to keep up to date, Doc, or you'll be dropped back to Earth and wind up on the exile planet.
Look, there is your answer.
You expecting someone, Rinkman?
And so my men, Rinkman and Dr. Vanko, had finally found an explanation for our vanishing cargoes. It was Rocky Jones' trick of making his spaceship invisible.
Lavolga, I object. The facts have been distorted. Griff has only told one incident that happened on Pra.
Objection overruled. Griff, I must say this sounds completely fantastic. Unbelievable.
Volga, I'd like to call a member of Rocky Jones' crew to the stand. The boy. Bobby? Have you ever been to Pra?
Yes.
Do you believe it's possible to make an object as large as a spaceship completely invisible?
Sure. If you have the necessary freezing units to drop temperature to a minus 243 degrees centigrade.
And did Rocky Jones have these freezing units?
Yes, he did.
Please address La Volga and tell them how you first learned about this phenomenon.
Well, I was on board the orbit jet with Rocky and Winky. And I heard Rocky explaining to him how Professor Newton's cold light worked.
Heat can affect light waves to a point where images that aren't even there can be seen by the human eye, like the mirages that appear on hot deserts.
Oh, sure, I've seen them on the Sahara.
Now, intense cold can have the opposite effect. Blot out images that are actually there. When this lamp is switched on, the rays sent out by the terrifically cold light will make the orbit jet invisible.
Well, how can we fly a ship we can't see?
The cold light will surround the ship, but we'll be able to see everything normally here in the cabins. But no one will be able to see us.
Well, if that can't get us through any defense barrier, nothing can.
Oh, just one point, Winky. We have to fight time. We don't know how long the cold lamp will operate, so stand by to switch it up, huh?
Right, sir.
We're entering cross-gravity field. Switch it on, Winky.
So that's how cold light works.
Astounding.
Thank you, Bobby. That'll be all.
I demand that the entire story of Pra be told.
Overruled. I've heard enough for one day. Remove the prisoner and double the guard.
Lavolga. Maybe I shouldn't have spent the night reading that law book.
You're doing great, Biff.
Rocky, did I say the wrong thing?
Of course not, Bobby. When you tell the truth, you're always in the right.
Well, let's go eat. But who's hungry?
Run along home now, Jonica. I'll see you later.
Yes, Father.
Goodbye, my pretty one.
Goodbye, Rudy.
I think I'll stick around for a while. Hi.
Oh, hello.
Nice place you have here. I mean, Angkor.
We like it.
So do I. But have you ever been anyplace else?
No, and I don't care to.
I've been lots of places. Almost every place, I guess. With Rocky Jones. I'll bet you don't even know what a gypsy moon is.
I know what a gypsy is. Someone who wanders around all the time.
Yeah, that's right. But I'll bet you never heard about a moon that wanders around all the time.
No, and I don't believe it either.
But I've been on one. If you listen, I'll tell you about it.
Come on, Biff. I think we're in the way.
There isn't only one gypsy moon. There are two. Well, at least there used to be two. One moon was called Visita, and the other Nagato. They used to travel all over every place, tied together by an atmosphere chain. And they sure did hate each other. They'd never seen a spaceship before. They had airships. And they used to go back and forth fighting each other. But that was before Rocky Jones came along. At first, the rulers of Visita and Nagato sure did hate Rocky. They both tried to kill him. But Rocky stuck to his job and made him shake hands. I've never seen such happy people.
But you say there's only one gypsy moon now. What happened?
It was pretty awful. Rocky figured out the Visita was going to crash into another moon, called Ophiuchus.
And did they?
They sure did. I saw it. I was aboard the orbit jet with Rocky, Vina, Winky, and Professor Newton.
This is the most exciting moment of my life.
How dreadful. And were all those people killed?
Not even one. And only because of Rocky Jones. And Jonica, that's Rocky Jones those three men are calling a criminal. Please, you've just got to talk to your father about Rocky.
But, Bobby, how did Rocky save all those people?
By taking them away in spaceships. He told Cleolanta, she was the ruler of Ophiuchus, what was going to happen. And that almost was the end of me. Yes, and of Vina and the little baby.
Oh, my baby, hurry, Vina. Take him to the underground shed. That is the only chance.
Bobby, go help them. Run quick, Bobby, run.
Cleolanta, thinking only about her own people, bombarded Visita, hoping to spin it out of the way of Ophiuchus.
But, Bobby, what happened to you and Ben and the little baby?
We found shelter in an old cellar.
Bobby, if we could only get some air in here. If someone would only find us.
We're all right, Vina. Look at the little prince. He knows the danger's over.
Vina, Bobby, are you there?
Down here, Rocky.
Winky, move this stuff.
So it was Rocky again. And then he saved all the people on Ophiuchus. Now, what do you think of my Rocky Jones now?
I think he's just wonderful.
Will you talk to your father, Jonica? The real criminals are Griff, Dr. Reno, and Rudy DeMarco. Will you talk to your father, Jonica?
My father will be fair, I assure you.
Pinto Vortando, why aren't you here to testify for Rocky Jones?
That's a United World Space Station, but we have to refuel. The Space Ranger will come aboard. Be sure that Pinto Vortando's out of sight.
What happens? Where you take Pinto? You should not treat Pinto this way. He's one fine fellow. Why you tie him up again? He says nothing. He does nothing.
Hello, I'm Space Ranger Clark.
Commander Zandorf.
How are you? Now, this is the YC-47, huh? Well, this is a new ship and new faces to me. What's your course, Skipper?
Out of Angkor, destination Nagato. I'd appreciate a fast refuel.
You got it, Skipper. I'll alert the boys.
Pinto, what are you up to this time? Oh! Please, for once, Pinto's on your side.
What are you trying to say, Pinto?
It's Rocky. Rocky Jones is in trouble. Pinto's not a brave man. In fact, sometimes he's a coward, but we must help Rocky Jones.
I know things look pretty bad, Rocky, but don't worry. Something will work out.
Sure, Biff.
Same time, same station, when we again take you into outer space for further adventures with Rocky Jones, Space Ranger. Rocky Jones, Space Ranger, Space Ranger, Space Ranger, starring Richard Crane. In The Trial of Rocky Jones, Chapter 3. When we last saw Rocky Jones, he was imprisoned on Angkor, the moon where the people live underground. False charges of attempted murder and piracy have been brought against Rocky by Griff, Rudy DeMarco, and Dr. Reno.
We're home, Rocky. The ball game is won.
What?
Clark from Space Station OW9 just landed on Angkor. Secretary Drake has been alerted, and he's on his way here.
Yes, but who told him what was going on? That I was on trial here on Angkor.
Easy, boy, easy. Don't speed me past this beautiful moment.
Come on, Biff, tell me, who was it?
So beautiful.
Pinto Rotondo.
Yeah, Rocky. Griff had him shanghaied out of here on his spaceship. The ship stopped for refueling on Space Station OW9, and Pinto was able to spill everything to Clark.
Where's Pinto?
Clark brought him back here. Vina and Bobby have him salted away, and he just can't wait to talk.
As only Pinto can.
He's our surprise witness, Rocky. And I can't wait to see the expressions on the faces of Griff, Reno, and Rudy. Open up. We're ready for action. Fire one. Boom!
Bring in the prisoner. Counsel will step forward. It is my desire to finish this business of Rocky Jones' trial as quickly as possible.
Yes, sir.
If you have a witness, please proceed.
I call Pinto Rotondo to the stand.
Don't worry. Pinto was 1,000,000 miles away.
Pinto Rotondo.
Who is it who calls Pinto Rotondo? So beautiful. Maybe it's you, or you. But Pinto doubts it very much. Maybe you call Pinto Vartando, huh?
Witness will take the stand.
What Pinto has told you is true. Rocky Jones is completely innocent. Rudy DeMarco hurts Pinto very much until Rocky comes along.
What do you know about the accusation of Rocky stealing a spaceship and pirating a cargo?
A frame-up on Rocky Jones. Pinto heard them. They made Rocky unconscious, put him into a spaceship alone, and it blasts off. Then they put Pinto into a spaceship with two of their henchmen, and we blast off.
Thank you, Pinto. That'll be all.
I would like to call Space Ranger Clark to the stand. As long as counsel for the defense has injected Pinto Vartando into the case, I would like to do my questioning of Clark on the same basis.
Proceed.
How long have you known this beggar, Pinto Vartando?
Oh, quite a while.
The Space Ranger is trained to tell the truth.
Will you please tell La Volga about your first meeting with Vartando?
Poor Pinto.
I'm in charge of Space Station OW9. A spaceship requested to be brought in for refuel, and to me, this was a routine job. But then I realized that something was wrong. So I tried to barricade myself in the control room.
Clark on Space Station OW9, can you hear me? Clark to Space Ranger Service. An outlaw raiding party has landed. I can't hold out. If you can hear me, send help, OW9, repeat. If you can hear me, send help on OW9, repeat. Help on OW9.
You squawk like the pirates are just as useless. Oh, shut up.
Maybe you think your friend Rocky Jones can get here in time to save you, no? Yes? No.
Load everything of value into the spaceship.
This squawk that fills space is Pinto's fine friend. Space Rangers don't know what happens till it's too late. Pinto will not kill you with this. One shot into the gyrocentrific control, you're going a fine, bouncy, bouncy ride.
Pinto, get in the spaceship.
Pinto will be with you in one fast minute.
Rocky, the image is now 280 degrees. Did you change course?
Why not?
The object is bobbing, sir. 290 on the scope. And now 270 again.
Rocky, is something wrong with OW9's gyrocentrific?
According to the image reading, yes, Mina. Secure, alert, Bobby. The gyrocentrific stabilizes the space station. That bobbing can mean only one thing. I'll have to try for a blind stab at the landing berth. Correct side slips. Call out high and low readings.
Image dropping from center 265 degrees.
Sharper calls, Biff. I'll try to ram at 270 degrees. Biff, stay at the ready while I go after Clark.
I never thought we could do it, Rocky.
I'll be right back.
Are you all right, Clark?
Hi, Rocky. Pinto Vartando. He's on a looting spree.
Much of a lead on us?
Not much, Rocky.
We better get the Silver Moon out of the landing funnel
before she's destroyed with the space station.
Very interesting story, Clark, about Pinto Vartando, the pirate. Is this why Secretary Drake gave him a Medal of Honor?
Clark, forgive Pinto, please. Yes? No? Maybe?
Continue, Clark.
Well, I got in the spaceship, the Silver Moon, with Rocky, and we took up the chase. Rocky was at the controls. Vina was trying to patch me up. Then Rocky called us.
Alert! Learn this. We now have image on radar vex. Approaching the challenge. Secure for possible action.
Pinto Bertando.
Near parallel with the flight of the image, sir. Do you think it's a spaceship, Rocky?
Well, we can't be sure. I've chased meteors before when the visiograph wasn't working.
Peter Bertando's becoming a very rich man. I think Peter will buy a moon, all of his own.
Prepare to fire 2 missiles on a 5-count, Biff. Explosives set for directly in path of image. Ready?
Ready, sir.
Fire one.
Fire one.
Who is it who shoots at Pinto Bertando? Who is it who shoots at Pinto?
Prepare to fire a 3rd missile, Biff. Explosives off, but shock object with direct hit.
Ready, sir.
Fire! Who is it who shoots at Pinto Bertando?
It's a spaceship, all right. A meteor wouldn't have broken its flight pattern. Set magnet, Biff. We'll lock alongside and board.
Yes, sir.
Position! We must kill or be captured! Bertando surrenders to superior forces.
Get overboard the ship, Biff.
You may step down, Clark. So, Rocky Jones hopes to gain his freedom through the testimony of a man whom the Space Rangers admit is a scoundrel and a bandit. Now I ask you, La Volga, can such a man tell the truth? I demand that Pinto Bertando's testimony be stricken from the records and that he be removed from this court.
La Volga, I would like to call Bobby to the stand.
I think that Pinto Bertando is a very fine man, and brave, too. Sure, he's made mistakes, but I'll bet Rocky will agree he deserves a Medal of Honor that big. And if Rudy and Dr. Reno had had their way, there wouldn't be a United Worlds today. Not even an Ankapor.
What are you saying?
If it hadn't been for Rocky Jones, there'd be ice covering the whole surface of Ankapor. Professor Mayberry and Secretary Drake were the first to find out about the sun going cold. Of course, everybody was scared, but it certainly wasn't the time to be in a panic.
The true state of the sun is known only to us here and the scientists who have worked with Professor Mayberry. This is top security. Inadvertently, perhaps, you might release the news.
Why not? Why not shout it, the sun is going cold? The fools! Can't they feel it, see it for themselves? Why let them go on laughing? Tell them how ice will bury their cities.
I prefer to wait and hope until the last possible moment.
The tragic hypocrisy of Drake and the Space Rangers. That's the way history will be written in another land, under another sun? Or perhaps you and a chosen few will be there to temper the words, Mr. Secretary?
The only hope of reviving the heat of the sun was to fire a Tortanic missile into it. 2 of them were made, but we only got 1 as far as Tarita, our firing base.
Oh, Professor Mayberry was right. There does seem to be a crust over the sun. Well, we only have 1 Tortanic missile to fire to try to crash through the sun. Might as well be on its way.
Do you need me, sir, or may I wait here?
Oh, you can wait here. I'll join you after I fire the missile.
If the missile is fired successfully, we'll be taken back to Earth as prisoners. There's only one thing we can do. Rocky, you're not going to fire the missile at the sun. At least, not until you bargain for our safe return to Herculon.
So, you can outthink a man with a weapon. All right. But I've got my fists. I've licked you before in a fight, and I'm going to do it again.
On the flight, I was reading one of Bobby's books, learning what I could about the history of Earth. There was a man once who said, everybody talks about the weather, but nobody ever does anything about it. That's all changed now.
And so, Lavolka, because of Rocky Jones, the sun shines brightly and warm again.
Yes, Lavolga, the Titanic missile saved the United Worlds. Yes, even Angkor. Bobby, who conceived and designed this important missile?
Professor Mayberry.
And who else, Bobby?
Well, you did, Dr. Reno. The 2 of you worked together.
Thank you, Bobby. That is all. You can certainly render your verdict in the case now, Lavolga.
So far, one point has been proved, that I am right in ignoring a man's past. I have heard here that Rocky Jones is a great hero, and again that he is a sorcerer who used the magic of invisibility for nefarious gains. I witnessed a strong friendship between the Space Rangers and Pinto Vortando. And again, a Space Ranger has told me that Pinto is a contemptible bandit. I repeat that I am wise in remaining aloof from foreign intrigue and entanglements. Therefore, I will judge Rocky Jones solely on the facts as they happened here on Angkor, together with what I have seen with my own eyes. Rocky Jones,
Soon. Get to the tunnels, quickly! The whole building will fall. Do as he says. Get out of here! You heard my order. Go with the others. Pinto's no space ranger. You don't boss him around. Come. We
save the man. Why? Pinto does not know.
We've got to get out of here fast.
Hey, where are you going?
Don't try to stop us. Rudy, lock him in the workshop. Griff and I will prepare the ship to blast off. Move! Come on, move.
The only light we have is from the Silver Moon circuit. It's not much, but it's the best we can do.
Thank you so much.
Conditions in City Cave are fair, Lavolga. The people are quiet. They have great confidence in you. But our oxygen reading is low, dangerously low.
I'll do what I can.
I made a complete survey, Rocky, and there isn't a chance to dig out.
Rocky Jones in the spaceship Silver Moon, below the surface of Angkor. If you can hear me, come in. Come in.
Secretary Drake's spaceship should be here soon.
Johnny!
Father,
I'm so glad you're all right.
it was Rocky Jones who saved us.
Emergency. Rocky Jones in spaceship Silver Moon, the XV-3, below the surface of Angkor. Come in if you hear me.
Rocky, the oxygen is running low. Isn't it an answer?
And you're that fellow who didn't need help from nobody.
Pedro! Yes, Pedro, save the oxygen.
Rocky Jones in the XV-3, if you can hear me, come in.
There is a faint signal, Mr. Secretary.
This is Rocky Jones in the XV-3, below the surface of Angkor. Come in.
Rocky, we're nearing Angkor. But your signal sounded as though you were 1,000,000 miles away.
Professor Mayberry.
And Secretary Drake, Rocky.
Angkor needs help, Mr. Secretary. There's been an earthquake, and we're sealed in below the surface. Perhaps you have a missile aboard that can blast an air vent through the surface.
Yes, Rocky. We have one Trotanic missile on our ship.
Trotanic? Gosh, Rocky, air or nowhere, I won't like riding on the target.
You'll have to pinpoint your shot, Mr. Secretary, or it will only add to the destruction.
Give us a target reading, Rocky. We'll do our best.
Wait a minute, Mr. Secretary. Let me try to control the missile with a magnetic guide. Go into a dive and release on signal. I'll try for a surface hit just missing the Silver Moon.
Yes, Rocky. That's our best way.
Will it work, Pinto?
Sure. Didn't Rocky think of it?
Gain altitude, Mr. Secretary. Give me a countdown. Clear the ship.
Hey, Rocky!
Clear the ship, Biff. Go to the passageway and wait there till after the explosion.
20,000, Rocky. 15. 10. 5, Rocky. Fire muscle. Goodbye, La Volga. Thanks for your hospitality.
Goodbye. Many thanks to you, Professor Mayberry. To think I almost let those men go free. And I almost sentenced Rocky Jones to death.
But you didn't. And you've done the United Worlds a real service by allowing those criminals to be extradited.
I assure you, Secretary Drake, from now on, Ankapor will not be a haven for criminals.
I'm glad to hear that. Your ship will lead, Rocky.
Yes, Mr. Secretary. Biff, get the Silver Moon ready. Mina, Bobby, up the ladder.
Bye, Jonica.
I'm sorry, Pinto, but you'll have to go on the prisoner ship.
Why is Pinto a prisoner? What has he done now?
No, Pinto. We want you to guard the prisoners.
Ah, for that, Pinto gets another Medal of Honor. Yes? No? Maybe?
Rocky, there really isn't any way of thanking you for saving my country, my people, and my daughter. I'm so grateful for your help.
Thank you, La Volga. We might need help someday, and I'm sure you'll be there.